T1에서의 저는 그때랑은 좀 많이 다르다고 생각하고
이번 연도에 팀을 구하고 있을 때 보상이가 함께 하자고 얘기해줘가지고 너무 기쁜 마음으로 함께 했는데 같이 결승에 가니까 너무 자랑스럽고 증명할 수 있는 기회가 생긴 것 같아서 너무 기쁩니다.
프로게이머로 활동을 하다 보면 청춘 그리고 20대 다른 사람들이 하는 경험들 못한다고 생각을 하는데 희생이 있어야만 위대한 업적을 이룰 수 있다고 생각합니다.
롤 e스포츠의 수많은 유산들은 한 선수와 깊이 얽혀 있습니다. 오늘 그는 누구도 이루지 못한 역사적인 월드 3핏에 도전합니다. 8년 만에 재도전이죠. 하지만 그의 길 앞에는 그에게서 영감을 받고 자라난 선수가 서 있습니다.
3,500일이라는 시간 동안 되게 많은 불곡이 있었던 것 같아요. 하지만 이제는 눈앞에 남았다는 느낌이
2013년에 시작된 그들의 공연 2022년 월드 챔피언십 결승 통신사 대전에서 결승 롤 e스포츠 15주년
15 years of legacy.
15 years of sacrifices. Tất cả cho một khoảnh khắc.
세계의 첫 번째 별을 달아주겠습니다.
T1이 아직 이루지 못한 3핏 저희가 이루겠습니다.
구성이 형에게 빛나는 별을 선물하겠습니다.
별들은 오늘 저희 편입니다.
It's the golden age, bro.
원하신다면 저에게서 전치해야
It's just insanity, man. Like you just can't make it up. You can't make the shit up. This is just completely scripted as fuck. Every year, it's a complete like anime story arc. What do you mean to tell me that BDD role swapped to mid from support because he saw Faker play, and now 12 years later, he needs to take him the fuck out to win a title? What?
Faker and BDD, a date with destiny, a chance for
You
a
can't
trophy.
make it up. You just can't
Or
say
for
that
three.
shit.
In the case of T1, welcome to Captain SC. Get ready for this game one. It's minus
It's just cold as fuck,
by none
man.
other than Chronicler and Kobe for what is going to be an absolute
Boot that shit up
amazing
now.
best of
Boot
five.
it up and lock the fuck in.
Amazing day ahead of us, and what better way to start it than what we just saw? I think the most important thing for everybody watching is their emotional attachment.
Boot it
to
up.
League of Legends
Bro, that
and
teaser was gonna make me fucking shed some
every
tears.
single player
Sally was about to get a
on
little
the
fucking
stage
teary.
talk about how much
Jesus.
this means to them, their whole lives
Jesus.
poured into
Tried to
this.
mention to get any small efforts, drop a refresh on from the servers. I apologize. Damn, they looking fresh. Holy. Holy fuck.
Staying on T1, Doran on TT a couple of
They told me to use drop any efforts. Apologies, drop a refresh or drop the quality a little bit.
here today.
Something wrong with the
I think
servers.
we're all hoping for the same thing. SC
Mamma mia. Oh, we're already into draft. Yo, we missed it. The Bard Nico ban. There it is. We talked about it in the World's Finals preview. Triple BDD ban. Talia's up. Wukong's up. Rumble's up. Hey. Wukong insta-snatch. Xin Zhao's up. Oh my god, we missed so much of this fucking draft. Talia for Faker. Easy snatch. BDD's gonna have to find something into Talia with 3 mid-bans.
But here you go. T1 immediately grabbing.
They gotta take Talia Xin, Talia Rumble. They can do Talia Sion. Trundle's open if they want to be scared of it. If you go Talia Xin here and they take Sion, what are you gonna do about it? What does BDD play into the Talia? Maybe he plays the Rise. They get Rise, Wukong, Sion. If you pick Xin Zhao here, then what? You pick Cassante. It's a bit cooked, isn't it? Maybe you have to take the Sion, but then you tank the Trundle. They take the Guma as soon as the Varus. We talked about that. The Varus prio for Guma is skyrocketing. They don't pick the Trundle yet. So that means that they're gonna have to pivot to Rumble so they can pick it on 3 if you're blinding Sion. That's gotta be Rise, surely, right, into Talia? Or you maybe have to pick Jin here to match the Varus. Can Doctam drop? Jin, Ezreal, Sivir, Corki, MF. Probably drop AD here and just pick the Rise, yeah. And now you can match the top pick of Rumble with Ornn or Galio. But then you lose owner Jarvan Xin Zhao. You pick Ornn Galio or Jarvan Xin here. What are you gonna do? They take the Xin Zhao, so they drop the Ornn Galio. Double top ban is great here for KT. T1 banning out ADs. Jin is great in KT's comp. Ezreal's okay. Sivir can work. Depends on support pool. Oh, it kind of sucks the double ban top though. There's Ezreal. Ornn Galio are nice bans right here, but there's still Cassante, Rek'Sai, Sion. So maybe banning a support is nice. Braum is pretty good into their champs. Leona is okay. I think Ornn ban is good. They take away Alistar. Okay. Poppy is also open. That's triple carrier ban. I think Sivir or Jin is probably a good AD ban next.
Yes, their top side is incredible, but if it costs them a strong bot lane, it could be disaster.
You know they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna pick top on 4, they're gonna less pick Sup, and T1 might get bot push here, unless they go like Sivir Karma. They take out the Sivir. So there's Jin, but Jin doesn't really match very well with range support if they're not Bard or Nico. Both are out, so it's kind of hard to get a pushing bot unless you're playing Jin Karma, but that sounds dog shit. Are you gonna ban the Ornn or not?
Men core came together. Eyes now on what the final ban will be here from the side of KT. Another support potentially to be taken away. Sivir, Ezreal, the 280.
It's a lot of carrier respect. Wow, Renata as well. That's a lot of carrier respect. They could slam Lucian Brown, but I don't know if that's going to be winning. I don't know if Lucian Brown is winning. He can pick Ornn here, he can pick Sion here, he can pick Cassante here, he can pick Ambessa here. He's shit. Poppy on 4? What? Did they just blind top lane? Huh? Can't they play like a range spot here? Like Ashe Karma, Ashe Lulu. That's carry as support blind. They won't put Poppy into Rumble, that's impossible. It's support blind, it's not a flex. Yeah, Ashe is fantastic. Ooh, I'm not sure about this. Ashe Braum is solid. That is solid. This also blocks Ornn. Ooh, and it hurts Ambessa. This is gonna go Ambessa. Chat, I'm gonna run ads. If you want to avoid ads, you can use the tier 1 or Twitch Prime now to avoid all ads for the entirety of this best of 5. So you can sub now, you won't get ads. Appreciate all the subbers. You don't have to. Don't keep back to the game. Start big things happen. I'm getting ads during the game. I'll see you in a sec. Appreciate all the primers and subbers. Just drop it. Wow, this Poppy blind pick. I don't know about this. I like KT's position. I like KT's position a lot. I'm a big fan. Oh my god, the primers is ridiculous. What in the fucking world is that?
Magical Poppy ultimate later. He can get some flash plays going off. You can just turn around entire team fights. You hit a couple people with that ulti.
Mods drop the prediction and the Gamba. I would say KT is in a monster spot. I like KT's position. Talia doesn't have much setup other than Varus ult and Ambessa ult. Ashe Braum counters a lot of T1 champs. I see it. I see it.
Is unable to actually punish Perfect up here in the top lane. I think that would bode very well for KT.
I see it for KT here. I think maybe the thing is I think the logic that T1 have is if they blind pick Poppy support and they play Braum and they play Talia Braum, it's not good together. It's probably their logic. So they want to take away the Poppy, but then they play the Braum and they have Braum Ashe, which is fucking powerful. I feel like KT is in a. For me, bot lane matchup is a lot in this series, and I think that KT have a winning bot matchup.
Until you have the ability to impact side lanes, has been a strength for both of these players. And there is also, again, the implications in Fearless, as we've highlighted, and I think that really puts it
It feels weird for the finals from not being the bench.
had some insane Lethality Varus performances this tournament.
I really
Chat, if you get an F, drop a refresh, F5, hopefully it fixes it. Apologies, the servers are a bit cooked. It might happen all day. If you want to swap, I'm sorry. I wish I could fix
for
it.
their mentality,
Literally
for
nothing.
their confidence in pulling off that upset. And they referenced that after game 1, they really thought they were just going to be able to do it. And so game 1 here on this huge stage, World Grand Finals with T1. This has huge.
Are you going bold if T1
T1 are
wins?
the more
Yes.
experienced
Yes.
on this big stage with all of the pressure. If KT can grab that game number 1 though, that might just give them the confidence to keep that KT roller coaster going up.
Absolutely. That's the spark we need. We've seen it
I'm gonna be focused on the game.
to dig deep to make the impressive run happen. To make it to this final stage so many times, the 4th time consecutively for KT is a bit of a mystery. We saw them dig, we saw them
Yo, get the game going, get the game going. Yo, load in, load in, load it
You
in.
mentioned
Load
on the
it in.
Yone, making the plays to bring it back. Can they do the same today? Moments away now.
Yeah, the Fs that you'll get is probably like a
Bit of
tiny
delay
buffer.
on stage.
I'm
We'll
sorry.
have to talk about again.
A bit of a delay on stage.
Topside
Hey, yo.
for KT, getting comfort. This is going to set the pace. This is going to set the tone for the series because if they get a win on these picks, that is the surefire path to bringing us late into this one.
And as another reminder, Perfect is Rumble. We even saw it for stretches in the LCK. Just get banned. Just not given the opportunity to play this
Draft
champion.
preference, yeah. I
Make
still,
sure
like I said,
that
KT,
he
I mean, Ryze,
wasn't on
Talia
comfort.
is pretty
Thus far,
even match.
Perfect
I
had
would
an
say they have
absolutely
Wukong,
stellar
which is the
tournament.
stronger
He's
team
been playing
fighter, but Owner is an
incredibly well.
insanely good
We
Xin
also
Zhao player.
haven't really seen
Rumble and Bessa is pretty
Rumble
even
pay
trade,
attention
slightly
to
Rumble favorite. I mean, they have Rumble,
about the bot
Wukong,
side.
winning
And I
bot,
don't really expect
roaming mid to match. But it's T1. If you watch the World's Finals analysis, KT, great early game, great objective setup, really quick on the Drakes, good at covering lanes, very strong. T1, mid to late game, complete psychopaths. They'll fight you for 5
Honestly,
minutes straight
we
over
did get a
air
little
and get so
update,
much
though.
out of
I
it.
think they are remaking the champion select,
Remaking
so we
the champ
do
select.
have a bit of time here. More anticipation before we get into
As
the
if
first game.
the opening ceremony and the incredible video wasn't enough. We just have to keep building the tension.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff thinking about sacrifice, all of the players talking about.
Obi talking about sacrifice in the video.
Hey, you were there. How much they have all poured into this, though. It really does hit home so hard when you hear the stories of so many of the cases inspired by one members.
The only reason I want T1 to win is so you can go bold.
Faker in his dead play, being the moment that he even chose to become a mid laner. As well, you know, some of these legacy T1 players like Wolf as well, inspiring the next generation. And now KT, these players that were inspired find themselves here on the stage, capable of inspiring others.
As a reminder, the competitive week wasn't just how many millions of players does it take to churn out 100 pros across the world, to break it down over domestic tournaments, into international events, and bring it down to just the 10 players left standing? How many people have lost to Faker and Solo Queue over the year, or BDD over the year, just to lead to this moment where they can play at their absolute best on the World Final stage?
I'm still flabbergasted that we have a telecom war in the
A
Grand
telecom
Finals
war.
at worst. I don't know. We've had a week to kind of deal with this. I'm still not quite there. It's a lot.
It really
It's
is.
Faker
epic.
smiling,
I mean,
it's
the
over.
Telecom wars spanning multiple decades of rivalry, multiple games, multiple genres of games. And now
All right,
fighting over
we're in.
that Summoner's Cup.
Lovely.
We have made our way onto the Rift for the first
Lovely.
game.
Boot that shit up. Also, if you get Fs, you can swap the 720 heal. KT early game action, it's good. They have Ashe Brown, they win every level 1. Oh my god, I can't believe it's the World Finals, bro. What the fuck?
Both Ash and Brom here. I want to highlight one thing that we've seen this tournament is the arms race when it comes to teleport in the bot lane. Right now, Guma did actually go for
TP on Varus into Ash Brown. I mean, it'll help his lane a lot, so now this winning bot matchup that is favored for KT might be a bit swung by the TP. But no cleanse in teamfights is a bit scary. One arrow, dead.
Also see where the lane swap
But I guess he will dodge it.
as well because teams can very happy to swap for grubs.
Yeah, meanwhile on the other
No
side,
crazy
Guma
invades.
won't have a cleanse if he does get hit by an Ash arrow.
Yeah.
And so we'll see which one.
It doesn't
which
feel like
cat
World
ends
Finals.
up paying.
Bro,
And it's important to note, as
I mean, it does a bit, but it's also like, bro, World Finals.
this year has been incredibly
He's by true assessor
one-sided. The most
McHale's.
recent
Yeah,
best
he
of we
will
saw,
need it. But
we weren't able
McHale's
to make the
copy.
upset happen, but it's only because of the tournament form.
KT early game already good.
There's faith that
I
this
think they have a great
outcome
early game
isn't
already.
just
Maybe you don't.
one-sided.
They have ward on blue and ward here. This covers level 3 gank from Xin Zhao, and this checks where Xin Zhao starts, so they know Xin Zhao starting top side. You want to have 0 level 1 wards. This is the thing, KT bot lane should win. The TP will help bail them out a little bit. But like, mid push, bot winning, jungle pathing bot, they know where Xin Zhao's starting.
But it does feel apt. It's not a roller
T1's
coaster
pushed
anymore.
in with no info.
But, if there's one day, this
final boss graphic.
So, of course, we did see in the meantime a bit of early trading on the bottom side.
What is going on the bottom of my screen? See that? So the level 3 gank is covered. They know Xin Zhao's clearing the bot now. Great information for KT already. Wukong is a champ that doesn't want to fight early and just wants to fucking scale. He does his red buff late, so he keeps the buff for longer. Krugs. Faker trying to freeze and cancel a base, which is nice. BDD will lose a few minions. Maybe staying here is nice then. Ooh, this is a bit of a sketchy wave, but a little risky. He's gonna have to play a bit safe, but he should be able to push this out.
Really been, I think, by many considered over the whole year the best jungler
Dorat.
we had in the LCK.
Overheat.
Desk so beautifully highlighted his consistency, right? He feels like the rock for this team. That's been doubly true.
How's the volume? How's the volume? All good?
Of course, at Worlds, so many of the members of the team have stepped up, so it doesn't just
Yeah,
feel
if the stream starts to buffer, just go to 720 or refresh.
Because the Xin, we know,
Bot crab
can
should
have
be
that early
KT's.
impact, even while we expect the Wukong to farm.
Yeah, and on the opposite side, that Wukong that I really highly prioritize right now,
A bit higher.
as far as the jungle pool, is
I think
going to find the first
KT win this fight. They have Brown, Wukong, and he might have to.
Oh,
Oh, he's flashing after him. Oh, he's dead actually. Oh, this game is really tough. They gave it to BDD as well. Double buffs to Rise, double crab to Wukong.
The bottom lane here, Peter on the Brom again.
Their bot and mid push, you can't fight that bot crab.
That makes the difference. The concussive
You can't fight that bot crab.
Actually makes the difference. They
Maybe
pop
not a
the
double crab
blast
actually. He
cone,
needs the base.
and it is KT
open.
who strike first.
And let it be known that BDD is like,
KT
oh,
early game,
you wanna
really
fight the
good,
scuttle?
really
I'm
good
TPing
sequences.
straight to river, and it's that bot lane prio we talked
Doran.
about.
He has a
Because
potion
they
and
had
2
the
cookies.
prio,
He can't
starting
die.
level 1, Peter
And he
was
has a
able
ward.
to roam up,
Unkillable.
and Owner gets caught off guard.
Pushing lanes are everything.
BDD's gonna
for
check
early
Sins
jungle
out, see if he's
scrummages.
going
This
for
is
top
the
grab,
first
and now Cuz
highlight that you ever talk
Owner is
about.
blocked from
4
top grab. You see that?
jungling,
BDD's
4
blocking him.
objectives.
Owner
BDD
wants to
comes
enter the
over, he
river.
roams down,
Now
Peter
Rise
roams
showing,
up,
he protects the
and
top
KT
grab.
as a
So
team
Wukong
are able
actually
to
does get
collect
the
their
double
first
grab.
blood.
Ay, ay,
He
ay.
did warn against the possibility of BDD also
Oi, oi,
taking
oi.
over, by the way. He has been magnificent at this tournament. He has been such a carry player all year long for this KT squad.
Well,
And
Xin Zhao
what
is
I
very
love for
sad.
BDD is
Owner
it goes
is very
straight
sad.
through their back, right? Is
Huh?
perfect!
All in,
Oh,
Forced
Jesus.
to
No flash
back,
top.
Just a trade of flashes, but Torin struggling to survive now in this matchup as Peter does his best to
Doesn't
hold
get
the
the
wave.
wall.
Carry going for the
Ooh, if he
knockback on
stuns him in the wall there, he's
heroic
dead.
charge. A bit more damage, but clearly the lane's getting a little bit anxious, trying to force these bigger plays.
Dogtime's back in the lane, but Guma has TP. He's on a ward though. Dogtime could cancel him.
But for BDD, as I wanted to, just as a small reminder, this man was one game away from making, and I would say dragging his team to finals
Oh, Q
back in
missed from BDD, and
2021.
again.
As
Wait.
Dom
He has no
going in.
Oh my god, no flash.
Now Carry is looking to finish the
Dogtime
job
has
himself.
cleanse.
Slowly but surely,
He's
the
dead, he's
Poppy
dead.
whittling him down.
He's dead, he's dead.
Dogtime forced to flash away.
Surely he's dead, right?
Carry
Oh, yes,
hungry for
yes,
blood. A little bit
potions.
more time. The Q flat forward. Dogtime with a bit of a side.
Oh my
Flash
god,
from
the
movement
E,
speed,
Yavi.
trying to make it to
Carry
the
Yavi.
minions. Dogtime living for an extra moment, avoiding the angle.
He has the
back
one
and
for one.
forth. Carry gets the knockback.
Gets him, it's one for one.
One for
TP
one
back
in
from
the bot
Guma, he pushes the
lane.
wave in.
And Dom tries to get Guma, pays for
Or
it
is it
with
frozen?
his life, but he does get the the trade back.
1 for 1 is not bad for KT.
Guma's trying to push the wave in. They're gonna punish
the flash.
The wrap around.
Now Guma's in the lane dead. What?
Dr. on the way down, he won't be there in time. However,
He's dead, no flash. He tries to push the wave, but he was frozen, but he didn't push it, and now he's dead. What the fuck is happening in this early game? It's a monster early game for KT.
That is already a kill going over to Cuz. Wukong accelerated, and it's a 1.2k gold lead at 6
It's an
minutes
insane
only.
early game lead for
Cuz has done
KT.
so
And their
much for
comp
this
is such a
KT
strong
squad.
comp.
He has been carrying
Absolute
really
rock.
heavily himself with early money onto Wukong. You get to your Triforce,
Cancels his
so
base, gets his
accelerated,
flash.
and you can win those mid-game team fights. Here's another look at Guma baiting down until the last auto, his health bar, so that his support can
It was
go for
pretty
the
well
kill.
played by Dokdam in the second half of this fight here. Flashes back, Q flash from Keria, he upsteps it so he doesn't get Q2, slows him. Potions are ticking the whole time, so it forces a 1 for 1. Here I think Guma just has to push this. But he doesn't push it, and now it needs to push, so he needs to push it, and he just dies.
Exactly. The reason why you say that play is fine is because then they're going to assume that
And
they get
KT
to
get
push
Drake
around the
off this
minions
as well.
afterwards, which would make it worth it. But the timings from Peter and Cuz, they've been so synced up this game. The early roam into the river, this roam here, they come back out onto the map at the perfect timing to punish the attempt to push the wave in, which also earns them this early dragon. And as we talked about in the setup, before you even got into game number 1, game number 1 can have huge implications here as far as the confidence
Wow.
in their ability.
Ambessa ult is on cooldown, and so is Rumble ult. I'm guessing there was a fist fight in top. Both mid laners have their global, right? I think top lane, a lot of the pressure will be on bot, but I think both top laners can die at any moment if anyone clicks there.
Decently well, despite those early kills going down, but you both highlighted it so well. Dokdam,
Any clicks
really
top,
everything
someone will
working out
die.
perfectly for him as his team is there to support. His team is there to cover. We did see in the picture-in-picture while
Louder.
we were breaking down that replay, an attempted gank top side from Owner. Wanted to try to find an angle onto perfect, beautiful size up on the W means it doesn't go through, but KT on the bottom lane, now that Guma has this 6, potentially more angle here for T1 to play if they want to recoup some of these losses.
Ashe is 6,
T1,
Varus no flash.
Still a lot of power in their team fight. I particularly like your ability
They're
to
getting
single
grubs,
out
though.
targets and force unfair fights, right? With the Talia, with the Poppy as well. Poppy in particular can really turn any game around as long as you find high enough value targets. But we also
Is there a play bot for T1? Can they dive, cross map, do something here?
Right now by KT.
Dokdam's giving a wave.
T1 recognize they cannot contest the grubs. Prio on the top side still in favor of perfect. Mid lane relatively even, slightly in favor.
3 grubs, first
T1,
Drake to
Faker
KT.
hovers into the darkness, threatens
Insane
maybe a
game
Weaver's
so
wall
far
to
for
the bottom
KT.
lane, but Peter and Dokdam
They
pretty
do need to
effortlessly
cover
holding
Ashe
for
a
now.
little bit
So
down here.
difficult to dive
She
this
cannot
early
farm.
on, but Keria might go for it anyway.
Nothing here. It's a nothing burger.
Forward, Dokdam there. Case to stand behind
Or
me,
maybe
wants
it's
to come
actually a
through, but
something
Keria, of course,
burger.
can
He can
interrupt.
W. Oh, he flashes
Flashing
it.
out
Okay.
instead, then using the W to escape just to make sure the steadfast presence does not come through. However, they're zoned away from the tower, and they're going to be losing some plates.
Okay, so KT, they back off. That does mean with the half-throw mid from Faker, who is hovering to threaten the full commitment from T1, BDD is going to shove out this mid wave first.
W?
And
Doesn't
see if there is any contest over red.
It's a flash
looks
burger.
like Cuz, early pings, he knows that may be an objective that Owner would try and go for, and so immediately goes out to protect it.
Well, Ashe gave up 2.5, 3 waves for this.
Arrow.
But, oh my god.
Okay, close.
It wouldn't be a
Faker,
kill if it
not,
hit any. I think it's just a bit of
too
damage.
scared of that one. But yeah, the T1 with the presence of mind, it was about a 300
top
gold
wave
swing
here.
thanks
Are you
to the play.
scared?
The bot lane, the CS denied as well as the plates. But there were free grubs for KT. We'll see if that's going to be worth or not, because it really depends on how much access they get to turrets.
Cancel.
True, but I want to remind people that this is Fearless, so the importance of these picks that have worked before.
The volume's low. Yeah, I think the caster volume is low, but the in-game volume is high,
For manually tracking every arrow that hit. It's a similar story for Guma. So for Dokdam to take this away from Guma and have a good game is crucial for KT's game plan, as the ulti doesn't connect from Doran. That's crushing. Very likely would have been a
But the Rumble does have tier 2 boots, you know.
Go for the all-in. Carry on the way up, but Perfect is completely overheated. Buying a bit more time to overheat now as he turns back into the wave.
Oh, Cuz is here. Oh my god, Cuz! He kills him.
On top of Doran, and there's a cyclone. Keria running
It's
for
it's double. Oh my god, this game is fried for T1. This game is absolutely fried.
Perfect on his Rumble. There is a reason
Faker's TPing on a ward behind the tower.
On that champion.
Match from Peter, who has Spellbook on Brown. No play. Faker loses a mid wave.
And
This game is
Targeting
cooked.
perfect
It
has been
is
a
just
strategy
absolute.
employed
If
against
KT just
Tiki
get
for
good
the
setup
whole
for the next
year.
Drake, which
So
they
it makes
should be
sense
able
that
to do
T1
easily,
tries to go for it, but once that ultimate misses,
like
you can't
KT
keep
is
forcing
eating
it.
the whole map.
Perfect, able to stay alive, doesn't really take any meaningful damage, and his
So Faker TP's bot trying to cross map, but he doesn't count for Spellbook Braum, which is very impossible to account for.
About T1 and the possible 3P and 4 finals in a row, and how their advantage is going to be how confident they will be under these bright lights. But KT are playing
I think KT's comp is just so good. They win everywhere, don't they?
Which is so impressive when we look back
Unless
at
that
the media
T1
day
gets
in the
like
press
something level
conference,
3 in
and
mid,
Peter was
level
talking
4
about
in
how
bot.
Keria is perfect in every way. The only thing he had going for him was supposed to be his rookie spirit, but he's been first on the map. He is paired up with Cuz so incredibly well. Now almost a 2,000 goal lead.
I think
for
T1
KT.
needs to flip the
T1
draft.
not out of it yet, but sent reeling in an early game where they gave the ideal top side to the side of KT. Even
Look at that
after
Wukong
3 targeted
Triforce,
mid
minute
lane
11.
picks.
And it's honestly impressive. I really like the angle from Peter, who again debuted in 2022. And obviously this is his first World Final, as we have seen many a time, which is still to me a heartwarming fact. Had never actually taken a plane out of Korea until he got to
Level 9
Worlds.
Wukong is great. He
But
gets it off
thus
Crux,
far,
and then here
we're
comes the
actually
Drake setup,
seeing, I
right?
think,
Peter's
coming
already
to the draft,
based, he's
we were looking
refreshed
at
his
what is
wards,
the
he's ready to
conflict gonna be,
contest.
and
Here
thus
comes
sort
a
of
level 9
confidence
Wukong
in
from
favor of
Crux. They're
KT.
going to match up
And
through
what
bot,
is the
they'll push
lane
bot.
matchups going
All that
to
has
look
to be
like?
safe
And when
is Ryze just
Keria
has to play a
did
little
go
safe.
for this blind Poppy,
Be ready to
we
ult
knew
into
it
the
was a
fight,
gamble, and
and
thus far
T1's going
hasn't
to take
made a
it.
butt
Whoever
in
gets
this
hit by the
teamfight.
Ash Arrow
The Poppy can still secure a
is the
number of
sacrifice.
KT don't
Wukong
have
ult is
cryo
up.
in the lanes. They have enough vision to know
T1's
the objective
trap
hasn't been
isn't that
started, but
strong
they
if
have to be
Talia's
careful
showing.
what
There's
they
no
fought
real
for.
threat.
They wait to have 3 members strong.
They can just
spot
walk in.
Keria, and they know that is
But
their
there will be a
time to
wall
step up.
behind them.
Owner waiting. Gumayushi on the way in.
Instantly.
Arrow connecting.
Ryze
No
ult.
chance to use the cousin guard.
Poppy
Might
ult
be
is
too
up
late
for
by the time
Ryze.
Owner does it. Realm more behind,
Doesn't use
and
it.
BDD
Braum tag.
right on top of Owner, but Faker is there to cover.
BDD's out.
Instantly, he's
Keria no
safety is docked
flash
down.
out.
Starts
Owner
to
flash
rain
out.
hell on
Push
Owner,
back.
but the Xin
Yeah,
is too
Drake
damn
for KT.
tanky.
Or
The objective
Kuma? Can you
in
steal
the
it?
sights
No
of
way.
KD.
No, you can't.
Kuma, not enough time to charge the arrow. Second Drake dropping for
This is
KT
important for
Wilson.
KT. The way they need to
T1
fight, they need to
second
just throw an
flight.
Ash ult,
This
hit someone,
time
Braum
cannot
ult,
find the
fight.
arrow. Second Drake goes
They
over,
can't
and it's
afford to let
again
Ryze
no
or
hesitation from KT.
Wukong get hit by Varus ult. They just need to go
in this game.
instantly.
With their lane assignments, with their choices here for objectives, they pull the pincer closed. They trap T1, force them off. Multiple flashes invested from both sides.
But
though.
T1 is a very
So
creative
I'm
mid-game
definitely
team.
looking at Doctum as
So
well.
yeah,
This Ashe
hard
with
to
no
play
cleanse
game
and
because
no
they're
flash
behind, but also I think
after
they're
this
kind of
bottom side
outdrafted.
river fight. That
But
may
maybe
be
they'll
an
cook
area
something
where
up.
T1 look to try and punish him, to try and get
I did not
control.
expect KT to get the Actually, I mean, I did expect KT to get the better draft game one. They are blue side.
Really, even the kill that they got onto Duckdom was him going in. He did get punished for that, traded, but it's really been KT on the forward. Even here, where they did not have relative touching distance, but early Drake stacking. An incredible team fighting, team composition, and just the confidence with which KT is playing thus far is really impressive.
So I think we're going to have to keep our eyes on if
What the fuck
T1
is
are
power-ups?
able to create some pockets of vision that they can abuse.